welcome to Born Football TV. My name is Aaron Malolo. Today we're live from the University of Johannesburg, DFC. I'd like to urge you to please, guys, subscribe. Click that subscribe button, share this video, and leave a comment down section. It would be a pleasure to hear from you. You can follow us on Instagram at Born Sports TV, on Facebook, Born Football TV, on YouTube, we are also Born Football TV. Well, of course, this past game week, which was game week 5, we saw quite an interesting one. Of course, there were some games that really disappointed us. But of course, I would like to just go briefly through the weekend. Chelsea won, Liverpool won 3-0. So both these teams, they have the same statistics. Both of these guys are being coached by Germans. So I'd like to believe that it's a German thing. So Chelsea and Liverpool, they're on fire. Of course, Liverpool is Chelsea's number one because they scored an away goal. And United also won, though they have scored more goals, but the problem is that they don't keep clean sheets, they keep conceding. City, of course, failed to win against Southampton. Pep came under scrutiny before that game week after he told the fans that they need to start coming to the stadium, and when they came, City failed to actually produce something. Especially because they only registered one shot on target, which I think Pep Guardiola was not happy about. Okay, so now let's go into game week 6. Of course, we have City playing against Chelsea, United is playing Aston Villa, Burnley playing Leicester City, and others. But I want us to focus on the Arsenal and Tottenham game, which will be quite an interesting one. So now let's just go through both teams one by one. Tottenham won their first 3 games, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, scored 3 games, 9 points. Then the past 2 games, they lost, conceded 6 goals in the past 2 games. They were chowed 3-0 by Crystal Palace. This past weekend, they were also chowed 3-0 against Chelsea. So these guys, they've scored 3, they've conceded 6. And of course, Harry Kane came under scrutiny because, if you remember last season, Harry Kane registered 24 goals and 13 assists. That is 37 direct goal involvements. That means out of 38 games, in 37 games, Harry Kane was either scoring or assisting. He scored 1/3 of the goals of Tottenham last season. This was a guy that was on fire. Many of us were vouching for him to be player of the season, but of course, according to me, he was robbed of that award. And then this past weekend, again, the guy shows no motivation. He's not touching the ball. Like you can see that he's not happy. And to me, it does not make sense because you're still going to stay there. You signed a contract and the contract obliges you to stay in the team. So you might as well do your best so that you do not taint your reputation and you taint your name, you see. And in the past 4 games for Harry Kane alone, the statistics are shocking. 4 shots. I'm not sure if some of them were on target, but 4 shots for someone who scored 24 goals and registered 13 assists. There were only 3 players who were able to do that last season across Europe. Romelu Lukaku, Memphis Depay, Harry Kane. So it's really shocking to see Harry Kane play like that. And Tottenham as a team and as a whole, you see these guys, they have no identity. You don't see what they are playing. They're just all over the place, and even Nuno as a new coach is still trying to find his best 11. He's still trying to find the team. You can see there are always changes in his team. There's no consistent team that he plays with. There's no consistent formation. So they're still trying to find their identity. So it's really a problem, I don't see them actually. I don't know really. And then there's Arsenal. Arsenal lost their first 3 opening games. Of course, Mikel Arteta came under scrutiny. Such a statistic that has never happened in the history of Arsenal. And you're losing against small teams such as Brentford, you see. He also came under scrutiny. But the last 2 games he has also won. But of course, he won 1-0 and then another 1-0. So between these 2 teams, there have only been 5 goals. Cristiano Ronaldo scored more goals than each of these teams. He scored more goals than Arsenal. And he has the same number of goals as the whole Tottenham team. So between these teams, there are only 5 goals. And these are the teams that we usually see. They are the traditional big 6. And I'm really asking myself that I think it's just the name now. These guys are not really showing us that they are really the China Big Six. I mean, if you look at the table, Brighton is up there with Man City, with Chelsea, with Liverpool, with Man United. You see, a whole Brighton is doing better than Arsenal, is doing better than Tottenham. But of course, for this one, it's anything goes here. I don't think we'll see a lot of goals. If one team wins, it's going to be 1-0, or they draw 1-1. I don't see them scoring 2 goals or more than that. It's just going to be a miracle. So, I mean, you can even see my tone, the disappointment and all that. But of course, we're hoping for more. This is the Premier League, and this is why we love it. And you can never really be sure what may transpire. So we shall see. But this one, I'm more inclined to Arsenal. So we shall see. And okay, so of course, the 2 other interesting games for me will be Leeds United playing West Ham United. We know Leeds United, they play beautiful football, those guys. I mean, they have a master tactician, Marcelo Bielsa. Those guys, they play beautiful football. But their problem, of course, throughout even last season, they concede a lot of goals. They have a problem of defense. You know, sometimes when you check their scores, when they win, they will win 4-3. If they lose, they will lose 3-2. So they are always conceding goals. And now they are playing a West Ham that is on form. I mean, West Ham played against United, and you saw that it was not easy for Man United. They managed to score, though they missed a penalty. But this West Ham team is on fire, and Michail Antonio will be back. Their top scorer, top assister, will be back. This one, I'm going to give it to West Ham United. West Ham has all the capabilities to beat Leeds United. Leeds United have also been struggling to find their mojo. They've been struggling to find their form. And I mean, they're playing a team that has found their form from the first game week. They were on fire. So this one, of course, I'm going to give it to West Ham United. West Ham should win this one 3-1, 2-1. And then another one will be Crystal Palace versus Brighton. Now, I think this is one of my favorite games. You know, I can't wait for this one. Brighton, they have 12 points. Unbelievably so. They are at the top. They've played beautifully. They've been winning games. But now they are playing a Crystal Palace that is on fire. I mean, if you were watching the game that Crystal Palace was playing with Liverpool, I know the score of that game didn't really show what actually happened in that game. Because if you were watching, I mean, Liverpool was under pressure. Those guys were just exceptional. I mean, also Liverpool's defense was exposed that, you know, it's not the really solid rock. I know they've not considered, but I mean, those Crystal Palace guys wasted chances. They were just, you know, they were playing beautifully. Wilfred Zaha, I mean, Conor Gallagher, those guys were just exceptional. It's just that after Liverpool scored the second goal, of course, their confidence went down, and then Liverpool utilized that. Even on the right side of Liverpool, of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold is always exposed. They were using that side. Of course, with Zaha there, he has skill, he has pace, you see. So this one, I don't see Brighton winning this game. I know they've won, they have more points than the Crystal Palace. I mean, they are top there with these top Big Six clubs, but I don't see them beating Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace they just play beautiful football. You saw when they beat Tottenham, they were just all over it. Even this Liverpool one, the counter attacks, the passes, you know, the synergy in the team, the flow, like those guys play beautiful football. So I'm really interested in this one, and I'm gonna give this one to Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace is taking this one. And please, guys, if you have been watching up to this point, I would like to urge you to subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment. Maybe you have a different view. Maybe I think that now Brighton, statistically, they will win, of which I agree with you. Let's talk down in the comment section. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Spawn Football TV. On Instagram, it's Spawn Sports TV. On YouTube, it's Spawn Football TV. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. God bless.